Thank you so much, Shesh. Hello, Dr. Rohini. We are all your fan. Honestly, we are all your fan, and what an honor to be talking to you. So before, because for me also it was a learning which I got to know a few weeks back. So let me just tell about you to everyone that you come from a family of doctors, and your full name is Rohini Katoch Sepat, and you started your career as a doctor. So and of course I'm very jealous because you are a doctor and a 2008 batch IPS officer, and you're currently the DCP of Bengaluru South Division. It's such an honor and such a privilege. And I'm not going to say to a woman, just to a professional who's a doctor and an IPS officer and doing such an outstanding work. Like all of us are looking up to you, and you have made us believe that police officers are not just cool in movies like Simba and all those movies that we see, but police officers are cool, real, authentic, and active. Currently, tell us, before we get into the discussion, tell us how has the last 4 weeks been for you?
As you know, ma'am, first of all, thank you for such a lot of praise. But yes, lockdown has been a very, very different challenge for us. Matlab, we have handled riots, we handle some very, very negative things that happen in the society. But this is something which was extremely, extremely different for us. It was a very new, novel kind of challenge for us. And here, our entire role is totally different. We are not here to catch the bad guys. We are not just here to tell police or people what to do, not to do. We are basically becoming the what you call the bridge between the public as well as the system. We're trying to help out wherever we can. There are a lot of people who are approaching us that they are willing to help. There are a lot of people who want help. So basically, we are the bridge. If there is a something with person who requires help and the subsequent there's a help giver also available. So we are basically trying to assist the society in these difficult times. So it has been huge. It has been challenging. It has been a learning curve, but all's well that ends well, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah, 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 yeah. And honestly, we've seen you and what you've been doing. And that's why I'm just saying that when one speaks highly of you, it doesn't come from a place, oh, because you are this designation, because I think we all can see and connect the authenticity with which you operate. I want to understand from you, and this is for everyone who will be watching, and hopefully this will be broadcasted more, is what are your, to be at the place you are in and to operate the way you operate in, what are the some of the things that you rely on within your own self to operate at the way you do?
I keep on telling people that what you do is more important than what is your objective or what is your motive. Basically, like manas sarir beku. First of all, you should have very clarity in what you want, and if it is for the goodness of everybody, if it is for the good of society, people will appreciate it sooner or later, and people are going to accept it. Luckily, we live in such a great state where everybody is so accommodative. There are no very hardened issues about anything. Everybody is very acceptable about it. For the fact, like, I'm from outside and I've come and served in this state for the last 10 years, and not once where I felt that I'm an outsider and the people will not understand what I'm trying to do. So it is all about we are so fortunate to be here. And finally, that entire inside strength is what I think which drives that entire thing. That okay, fine, things challenge is going to be there. There is some place where will have to take tough decisions which we also don't like, but finally it is for the betterment of the society. We understand, like, lockdown is such a big challenge. We understand people are fed up. We understand they want to come out. Sometimes people will tell us, what will happen if I go out for a walk? I totally agree. There's nothing going to happen if you go out for a walk. But seeing you on a walk, everybody else will going to come out and start chatting with you. So that is something that we are trying to tell people and avoid them, make them understand that they should not be doing it. So hopefully, like you're saying, that if manasari de nama, if that objective is correct and our goal is pure, then people automatically will understand, will appreciate, and we have seen such a huge amount of appreciation which
Yeah.
we've never seen as a police officer. That if people are appreciative of the whatever we are doing and they are coming and appreciating us. Today I went on for a small route march and people were showering petals, and it was as if, like, this never happened in my own marriage also. So it is like, oh my God, what is happening exactly? So it is, you feel extremely satisfied that yes, at least people are appreciating of the decisions that we are taking. They are standing by us, but they will only stand by us when we are very clear about it. We are, it's like a punchline now. Nimma pulisiddhivi, nimgagi iddivi, niminda iddivi. It is, we are not from any place separate. It is from you only we derive the strengths. So until unless you understand why we are doing something, it is, we cannot do anything much about it.
Wow, wow. Yeah. This, what you're saying brings me to the next question I wanted to ask you is that, in the role that you are in, you see a side of humans that, humanity, you see the love, like today, like what you're saying, people are showering you with rose petals, but you are also in a place where you see the most heinous, the most negative face of humanity. And being in the place that you are, in the position you are, in the role that you live every day, what's your overall take on us as humans and us as people?
We are complicated people, ma'am. We are very, very complicated, complex people. We appreciate things differently at different point of time. We don't have a very, like something is 100% black and white. It's not exactly like that. There are lots and lots of gray areas. Human behavior, human likings and dislikings are full of gray areas. It is like, it's always going to be like that, I guess. Future also, the human behavior has been like that for a very tens and millions of years, and we are going to remain like that also for the next remaining future. But yes, we do get to be in touch, or appreciate the worst form of human behavior also, because we are in that role. But wherever whatever we do keep it in mind that that person never became that worse suddenly. It is not, and he or she is not from some alien from some other planet. He is our person only. Whether he's good or he's bad, he is here. And when we take this oath to protect everybody, we take the oath to protect everybody. Now
Yeah.
bad people from themselves also, we take the oath to protect. So it is like, it is our job to do it. We feel very heinous, sometimes you feel like there is a very heinous sexual assault on some minor, suppose
Yeah.
it is, and you yourself feel that anger against the accused, and there's going to be a lynching crowd waiting for that accused to be handed over to them. But at that point of time, even saving this accused, his life is also our sworn duty. We can't pick and choose. We can't say that no, this person can do anything he like and this person cannot do it. So that is what I guess is the biggest challenge as a police officer, balancing that, developing that perspective, and balancing it in the final sense that it has to be transparent, it has to be unbiased. I
Yeah.
cannot go this way or that way. If it is there, it is there. If it is not there, it's not there. So I
Yeah.
keep telling my people wherever, or I keep telling people, we are like that strict parent. The parent is going to love you, but is also going to hit you sometimes when you do something wrong.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Uh, you know, in your position and the work that you do, again, there's such an involvement and such a dichotomy. Find that you have to be extremely passionate on the go, have that energy, but at the same time, you also have to be a little detached to, like, you are saying, because you'll meet all kinds of people. Are you able to, does it grow in the journey, or are you taught that when you become an IPS officer, or how do you make that distinction?
I think, ma'am, we are still evolving. We don't know when we are going to finally reach that. And I don't think there will ever be an ideal balance. I think it is the journey that is more important.
Yeah.
I was a different person when I joined the National Police Academy 11 years back. Today, I'm a different person. But I hope that my basic ethos, my basic person, my basic human being who I am remains the same. I think that is all that I hope to God, that the original person who I am, the Rohini that I am, should remain the same. Yes, obviously, during one particular period of time, like 5 minutes before, I was shouting on somebody, and after 5 minutes, I'm talking to you. So it is like it happens. It happens. It is a very big journey. Lots of ifs and buts are there. We don't know what is going to happen. It comes with the territory. We don't know how our days are going to be, and that uncertainty is there. Like COVID, this entire Corona is a big uncertainty for everybody, not just for me. For everybody, it's uncertainty. But people come to us; they expect answers from us. So that we have to balance. We have to tell them something. but also not commit ourselves to be giving
Yeah.
a kind of assurance which we also don't know whether it's true or false.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, I wanted to ask you, Dr. Rohini, from doctor to IPS officer, how? So, how did you decide first to become doctor? And then, how did you decide from doctor to become an IPS officer?
Actually, ma'am, like, like all youngsters are there, teenagers are, they'll be there and they'll be confused half of the time what they want to be. And my parents, both of my parents are doctors. So it was actually a very natural choice. And they also love their profession so much. It was a very natural choice for me to first go into medicine. I also loved it a lot and I had a lot of respect for that profession. So I joined the MBBS for God's grace. I made through the entire thing. And but there was in the back of my mind that I wanted to become a civil servant, because my parents have been, they are government doctors throughout their life and they are hardcore researchers. So the entire 20 25 years of their entire career has been dedicated to research. So I've seen how, they have put in a lot of effort, and they have grown also. My father luckily retired as DG, Indian Council of Medical Research. My mother also retired as a director of an institute. So they grow, but finally when it comes to the societal part, like if they develop a vaccine, it finally comes to effective public use only after through it follows through the bureaucratic channel. So I wanted to be in that bureaucratic channel. I wanted to be in the decision making channel where I can make some changes, I can make some decisions, I can decide on things a little more fast than what my parents have been doing. So I just wanted it to be little fast, and I thought it gives you a big platform to do hundreds of things. Today I am DCP, I'm doing something. Yesterday I was director FSL, I was doing something different. So it is like it's a huge platform. You can actually give back to the society so much.
Yeah.
Or there's a choice, the choice of us to sit out of this entire thing and just comment and observe and see things, and idu sariyilla adu sariyilla. This is our chance to be in the system and not just comment, do it. You can
Yeah.
walk the talk basically. So I just definitely wanted that opportunity, and like I will say once again, with God's grace, I came through. I became an IPS officer. Initially, I must, confess that I did not wanted to become a police officer from the beginning. I had no idea what I wanted to become. So once I entered into the IPS, like every other girl who will be, I was very skeptical that how am I going to make through the training also. So, but luckily, how our alma mater MPA has been very grateful in actually reinforcing our self confidence. Basically,
Yeah.
that I can also become do everything, because I was a bookworm in my entire life. I've never been a very great sports person also. So for me it was a like okay, yes, so it was a journey of self awareness, self confidence also, when I started and entered into IPS. And it has been the most satisfying thing. I cannot think of anything else better than being an IPS officer. Touch wood, thank God that I got this opportunity to become an
But
IPS.
what is coming across from everything and from you and from whatever we have observed of you is that what you enjoy and what you, and correct me if I'm wrong, but what you enjoy and what purpose keeps you excited and have that smile in spite of all that you deal with is the sense of the impact that you can tangibly create, right, on a large segment of people.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely true, ma'am. That is what the biggest satisfaction. I am in a position to make decisions, and those decisions matter, not
Yeah.
just to a very small population, not just to me personally, but it matters to the general public. I can do a lot of good things.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll ask you this, and Dr. Rohini, I have to ask this because I'm a passionate champion of all the young girls also. Is just to understand that did you ever in your journey face any kind of bias, or you thought that no, the world today is more or less getting into an equal place?
Ma'am, bias is there, will be there in the future also. It is going to continue. How you take it is your choice, is our choice. I always thought, and my parents always, they have ingrained that into my mind, that whatever happens to you is your decision, is your decision whether you allow it to be affected. There will always going to be critics out there, not just because you're a woman. They're not going to like you. Some people don't like you, some people don't like you because you're a woman. Some people have a difference of opinion. So it is always going to be there. People are not going to like you. Criticism is also always going to be there. But if you're allowing that criticism to affect you, whether you are basically allowing their thoughts to govern your life, is what is more important.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying that never no bias has ever happened or something, but I as a person I made it my motto of my life that I will not let anything affect me, at
Yeah.
least to the maximum possibility. But so yes, it comes and it goes. I can say I think I'll take it as a challenge every time, a challenge
Yeah.
that I conquer every time.
Yeah, yeah, wow, wow. I also now want to come back to the context of the coronavirus that we are facing. Somewhere, Bangalore has been able to deal with it, and I must say that if people are showering you with rose petals, then you of course deserve it, because somewhere we've been able to control or deal with it far more effectively than what I see different states in the country. What do you think that you and your the people in your department have done right this time?
I think what we have been very open and very transparent since the beginning of whatever we are doing, and we have been what I said, like it has to be an unbiased execution of the final principle. We like there has to be no considerations given to this or that, but we have to do it. And when you do it equally for everybody, people understand that it is basically be done for their benefit. So in this entire journey of corona lockdown, the entire focus has been on public health and on the benefit of each and every person. It is not about targeting a person or anything. It is about making them realize their responsibilities as a citizen, that yes, we should obey it. And if you're not obeying it, what exactly are we doing harm for ourselves as well as for the entire general population? Because getting infected and you think that we are immune to this entire infection and nothing is going to happen to us is one part of the entire story. But bringing the infection to your home and then infecting your parents and your children, that is when people start to realize that, oh god, yes, this is something really very serious. At least for their sake I have to be safe. For their sake I have to be following the rules. And whatever we have been doing from initial first day onwards, it has been based on what public feedback we are getting.
Hmm.
We have a lot of channels of WhatsApp. We have a channel in which we have a lot of social media channels also running, in which we keep on getting the feedback of people. One people will be telling us there is this particular problem in this neighborhood. So everything has to be sorted out and taken it in a holistic manner. That neighborhood should be our neighborhood. Every neighborhood is ours. If there is a person who is in the problem, if we do not handle that problem, it will lead to a much bigger problem. So it will finally lead to the unsuccessful implementation of the lockdown only. People are bound to come out because their basic needs are getting compromised. Until unless we focus on providing basic needs within whatever restrictions and limitations we have, we'll not be able to make the lockdown successful.
Yeah.
So I think that has been the initial from the first day the focus that let's bring people on our side. Let's always engage them with a communication. Let's understand what is happening in our area, and then let's start taking ownership of our area.
Hmm.
Nothing is going to be perfect, ma'am. Even I can 100% vouch. Even we are also not perfect. Our implementation is also not perfect. But we should be open to criticism as well as improvements, because that is how you're going to improve.
Yeah. So a lot of people have asked this question, so I have to ask you this: how will you control the movement of people and vehicles between green, orange zones and red zones when lockdown eases?
It's a big question, sirs and ma'ams. I think the government is still contemplating about it, and we are also awaiting the basic decision that is going to be taken about whether the this lockdown changes its entire mode after third, whether the restrictions are going to get totally removed, or they are still going to be there. It is going to be a challenge. It is still going to be a challenge. Maybe 100% normalcy, what the 100% we used to have before 23rd of March, it is not going to return in the very nearable future. We have to accept and agree to that reality. It is a new reality that we are going to be facing. We are not going to be having opening marriages or big big bandovast, the big temple, this jatra, that things. They are all going to change for the near future, and that this is a new reality. Immediately schools are also not going to become open. It is all going to become open in a step by step manner, because it is like everybody is waiting what exactly is going to happen tomorrow. How exactly is this curve of corona going to go up and down? Are we able to contain everything? 100%. If you're not able to contain everything, obviously it is going to get escalated, because finally the objective is your safety.
Yeah.
Your health safety is the objective. We don't have a vaccine. We don't know exactly how this, even this virus is mutating. You have seen it and you would have heard it. It is going to continuously go on mutating. So it is a big challenge. We don't want everybody to go through this entire thing, and that's why it has to be in a graded manner. 100% you want to go to your some place in your with your relatives to some place X or some place Y. I don't think that is going to happen in the near future until unless it is 100% necessary.
Yeah, yeah. So and the other thing that I wanted to ask you, of course, there's a very funny question which I should ask you. The change we are seeing in police is very encouraging. Means uh, fear to friendly. Do you think it will go last beyond the current COVID scenario?
See, we want to be loved by you people. We don't want to be hated by it. We are also human beings. We definitely want your appreciation. We want to be loved. We don't want to be feared. That is a thing we definitely want. But like I always told you, that we are like that strict parent. We have to have that face also. That sometimes that is which is very strict, which is supposed to maintain and implement law. But we hope that with your support, with your understanding that we have developed in this entire thing, that it will become a permanent feature.
Yeah, Dr. Rohini, now I have to ask you a question about about uh, what's the most like what's the most I would say important thing that you do for your own self to take care of your own self, because you're taking care of all of us and doing so many things. What do you do in your own routine, in your own schedule, just to say that, hey, this is me, my time, or this is me doing something for myself?
Ma'am, since the day this pass system has started, I don't think we have any me time left. Because we are flooded with calls 100 times, and we appreciate, yes, everybody. I understand in a 1.3 crore population, if there are 8 people who are supposed to understand, and yes, they are supposed to scrutinize, evaluate, and then decide, make a decision. We totally agree, but like you said, that me time has been almost non-existent now, and this corona thing is also there. This entire safety of our safety also becomes very important, because we go home
Yeah,
in the evenings back to our houses where children are totally free and waiting for you, but still you
yeah,
can't go and immediately hug the child. You have to be basically stand back and tell him, well, wait, let me go and have a wash, and then I'll come
yeah,
and hug you. So it is like I'm saying, it is a new reality, and this new reality is not immediately going to change. It is going to be there with us. So let us stay safe. I'm begging everybody, please be aware of this change that is happening. Until and unless we take that things ourselves, you go out for buying groceries. If it is not necessary for you to go out more groceries, don't go out. If you
yeah,
have something in your house, unnecessary movement has to be avoided. I understand we have or we are in a lot of restrictions, and as human nature we don't like restrictions. We understand
yeah,
it, but it is for our safety, for my safety, for the safety of everybody who's serving you. That is our request.
yeah. Uh, okay, maybe I have to put this question a little differently. How do you find the energy every day to be like so constantly on the go and smiling at the end? Like how? No, honestly, I want to ask. There are so many police people and senior police officials. They also become so khadoos type. No, they look so scary also. But you have that. You are doing outstanding job. You're working round the clock. You have that energy, and I think it comes from a certain place. It comes from being a certain kind of a person. And I want for all of us to learn from you something on this aspect at least.
Ma'am, I always perceive myself as only a human being. I'm Rohini. I'm not doctor. I'm not Katoch. I'm not Sepet. I'm just Rohini. I'm a person, a human being. I have my own weaknesses, but I have my strengths also. And I have learned through this entire life journey to always rely on my strength. Being a human being is much more important than being a police officer, than being anything. I today am in a position in which I have to refuse people that I'm not going to give you pass to go and see your loved ones. It comes from it is a very difficult decision to make, but I have to tell them because unfortunately or fortunately, it is being done for the greater good.
Yeah.
So when there is something greater than you, when the goal is greater than you, that is where the strength comes from. Sometimes I feel very disappointed with my colleagues, or some very, something I feel very, what the hell is happening kind of a thing. But then when we realize that they are also human beings, it's a journey that we all are undertaking. We are all developing, we are all growing, we all have our weaknesses, we all have our strengths. So best option is to stick together as human beings, realizing that yes, okay, I may not like your attitude, I may not like your way of talking, I may not appreciate what you're doing, but at least I respect you as a human being. That
Yeah.
is what is more important. That is what I hope that people will also understand what we are trying to do for them.
Somewhere it just comes from a place of immense goodness in you, I think. Like, what you're trying to say is that, like, seeing the human, like human, and without all the tags that you have, and you have some very cool tags of a doctor and a police, senior police professional.
Yeah, that is how I think we should all develop. People
Yeah.
come to me and they start off, I'm so and so, so and so, I know so and so. So, are Saku, Saku, you come to the focus of exactly why you come to get me is because after all, why should my behavior be different on whom you are? Ideally, I am there for everybody. I am there for even a rowdy shitter. If there is 101% chance that he is going to become okay, I will try to do that.
Yeah, yeah. Wow, I've become a fan now even more. Wow, it just comes from a place of depth. So thank you, thank you. But again, I have to ask you an interesting question because I also represent the community of startups. So startups have not been able to get pass for staff members, but of course you'll have the same answer. But please tell this passionate community of startups and entrepreneurs, why haven't you given them passes for their staff?
Sirs, ma'ams, my respective startup colleagues, you are extremely brilliant people who can and will find a way out. Only thing that we are requesting right now is let the society take a back seat right now. Let everything that we are planning take a back seat now and try to find a way which avoids coming on the road.
Yeah.
Even if it means not opening your office, it means not opening your office. I've seen hundreds of people, even you people, Beehive, you are right now doing a web seminar, correct?
Yeah.
It's your way of indigenously using your intelligence and finding a way out. You
Yeah.
will find a way out. And I hope that you find a way out because that is how we will grow as a society. That is how we are going to become more evolved as a society, that we have to find a solution to it. Typical policing means I do a parade. I tell 100 people to stand out and do a parade. I cannot do a parade now. I have to switch to Zoom now. So it is how these circumstances are. And I will request you now also, as the responsible citizens of this country, if you can make these changes and stay at home even when the lockdown is open, please do it,
Yeah.
because we have to finish this entire curve and it will take time. We are all educated people. We understand how this disease, how this virus is going about multiplying and spreading. So, and the importance of staying at home, importance from cutting the social contact. I understand that you want to sit across your friend and talk. You want to visit the things, and I understand that as a your customer may not get the 100% understanding of whatever you are trying to do through Zoom. I totally understand and appreciate it, but it is a challenge which I hope that you can overcome. Essentials, for example, the distribution of essentials, it is such a big network, it is a web. God only knows who is the final manufacturer. Then it goes to where. Then after that, it is going to where. And from there, it is going to where. And from there, it is going to come to your neighboring mom and pop stall. Nobody understands it. It is like a huge, huge, big web. And there are going to be things where, sometimes the people who are genuinely they're distributing essentials are caught and their vehicles are confiscated. And there are also going to be issues when you are actually doing joyriding and you're going about doing joyriding also.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is both the sides of the things. There will never be 100% implementation of something. If there is something which is there is a problem, please bring it to our knowledge. That is how we are also trying to develop. We are, as a police officers, we don't know how your essential web works. Nobody understands it.
Yeah.
So all we are able to try to understand is, okay, we are putting some of our head into it. Okay, is it actually absolutely essential for the delivery of a sessions? We do it. But
Yeah.
then what is essential to us? What is exactly not essential to us is our decision. There is a helpline that has been started. One lady decides to order avocado and olive oil in it. So my question is, let's stick to the essentials, people. Let us start behaving like serious people for once.
Yeah, yeah. I think there's a lot for us as humans also to test. It's a very interesting time to test and reflect. And what I hear from you throughout this session, what I'm hearing from you is that you're saying is that we need to take care of ourselves, but we need to take care of each other and of all of us.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And this is a time to do that. That's what you're saying, right? Like that's what you've been saying throughout. Yeah. Dr. Rohini, I am saying on behalf of everyone who's going to listen, and I hope Shesh makes this available for everyone. It is such an honor to talk to you. Honestly, once we see you on, outside and whatever clips and things that we see is one thing. And of course, one makes you are endearing to all of us, but the depth that you have and, the kind of things that you've said, the impact that you're creating just by giving us this kind of an advice is honestly very priceless and honestly very proud to be talking to you. Very, very.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. And Shesh, do you want to join in? And if there are questions that you want to take?
Sure. Vijeta, you've
Yes,
been
yes.
consolidating questions. Anything we want to
Yes.
go on that?
So I think, first of all, thank you, Dr. Rohini and Shraddha, and brilliant stuff. We were all mesmerized by the phenomenal insights. There is
Thank you,
one
sir.
specific question, Shraddha, that is coming for Dr. Rohini, that being a doctor and, and doing what role you're doing now, that how has it helped you? Do you think it has, in your working and life, etc., does it give you some perspectives beyond being just a police officer?
I think it has given me a much more clearer perspective of this entire thing, because being a doctor, I know what exactly the disease is, what this virus is going to do, what it's not going to do, how is it going to multiply, what are the challenges that we are going to be facing in the future also. So definitely it gives me the perspective. And being a doctor, I understand what my doctor colleagues are going through. It makes us more receptive to this entire idea that we need to stick together. I alone cannot do anything. The doctors alone cannot do anything. The poor karmic crew of BBMPs alone cannot do anything. We all need to stick together. We have to be a joint force to defeat this. It has to come from all sides, and it has to be a holistic plan for everybody.
Okay, thank you so much. The other input, ma'am, that has come out, and I think Shraddha, you also know this. There's a lot of fake news going around. People are spreading rumors, and in a lot of the WhatsApp groups, etc. We are admins. Out of fear, we have just said like nothing around COVID, and you have to just stop this rumor mongering, etc., etc. Right? So, is there some behavioral norms or some suggestions that you have on how to control this fake news and spreading of rumors, etc., etc.? Because it's a very bad thing to happen. So any input on that, ma'am?
Sir, it is like, this has become the entire what you called source of information. Our WhatsApp, whatever messages we get, and the way we just forward it without putting any brains into it. So I will request anybody and everybody, whoever is watching this, and also from our side, it is a very delicate balance that we have to say. Tomorrow you will say it is a fake news, and you should basically criminalize it, or you can penalize it, and then there will always also going to be a counter question of my freedom of speech. So it is like, it's a balance that has to be, finally, as a society we need to think about it. Where is my balance of freedom of speech going? What exactly am I defaming? What exactly am I trying to spread the message? But most importantly, I'm saying is, if you do not know it to be truth, do not forward it. If you are forwarding it, you are actually claiming ownership over it, and which today, sooner or later, whether right now it may not be 100% criminal, but it does opens you to a lot of civil liabilities. So yes, having an opinion about everything is a born right, definitely it is, but that opinion should be based on some sort of a reasoning.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you so much. There is one question that has come in, not too sure it is relevant, and please, if you don't want to answer it, not a problem. They are asking about the pricing of masks and sanitizers and the way forward. So I mean,
Yes, I think government has already come up with this order in which there has been a fixation of prices. But still, unfortunately, even for others, also a lot of black marketing is going on, and we have also received quite a lot of such kind of things. So we are also doing sting operations. You find some information, please tell us also regarding it, because where there is a demand, there is greed, unfortunately, and the people are going to make it opportunity to make money out of it. So it is unfortunate, but let's once again stick together and fight it together.
Yeah. Thank you.
thank you so much, ma'am. And ma'am, there's one more again, because you maybe because you're a doctor, they're asking you this question and input. That also the disposal of masks. I think that is becoming a bit of a challenge going forward. Is there any input around that? Because people are just throwing it, not disposing it properly, and that could be problems for us later on.
So I see, as a doctor, I'm telling now. This answer is
Yeah,
not
as a
like
doctor, as a
as
doctor.
as a doctor, I'll tell you. Sir, you are right now, if as a human being, I am right now not exposed to it. And even if my mask is there and then my mask is thrown, you definitely know it doesn't has the corona germs, or it doesn't has any other germ, because I'm a healthy human being. So it is not immediately going to be a big public health issue. More public health issue is that there are asymptomatic corona positive patients that may be present in our surroundings. And for them to prevent, for them from spreading the information or me receiving the information, is everybody should mandatorily wear a mask. There is no ifs and buts to it. You have to wear a mask. And because 93%, 85%, whatever the statistics are, those people are asymptomatic. Asymptomatic basically means I may be a healthy person and I may be still giving a lot of viruses out. I don't know. So for that, everybody should wear some sort of a mask. There'll be always going to be a question. There are always going to be questions, like whether it should be 3-layer mask, whether it should be 2-layer mask, whether I should do this, whether I should do that. Corona is a new virus. Nobody knows it. Nobody has tested it on Corona. Even this mask also, nobody has tested it on Corona. So let us not get into too much of a technicalities, but let us with simple common sense understand this, that you are trying to prevent, if you are a carrier of spreading the information, and you are trying to prevent from taking the information if somebody else in your surrounding is having the infection. So let us come together and start wearing a mask first. There are a lot of times where you see people, when they're chatting with each other, suddenly it is going to come down. Actually, when you're chatting with each other, it is required to go up. When you are sitting in your house, it need not be, you need not be wearing it. But when you are actually chatting with somebody, you're going for purchase of your groceries, it is required. And it is now a government mandated thing. So let us start following whatever the government is trying to tell us. Nobody is going to be telling us 100% perfect thing, because let me tell you frankly, nobody 100% knows. It is a developing thing, but common sense is there. We are trying to help and prevent the kind of a pandemic of corona, and as educated people, it is our responsibilities to take basic hygienic steps. Let's start with it.
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am. And I'm just giving the mic to Shesh from Beehive. He has to interact with you, but it was a pleasure that talking and listening to Shraddha and you also, Dr. Thank you, ma'am. I'm going
Thank
back
you.
on mute. Thank you.
Thanks, Vijeta. And Dr. Rohini, there is one question I think which is like closer to my heart. Is basically, there is a strong dichotomy everywhere. I think even Shraddha can probably corroborate on that. From media to let's say the entrepreneurs, etc. Whether about the extent of the lockdown, the severity of the lockdown, the how long it should be, what is the way forward. And I know that even in the political circles, people have opposite views. And I think it was clearly demonstrated 2 weeks back when the government made a decision in the afternoon, had to switch back in the night, right, on the decision. And I'm assuming there would be different views in the police department as well. Does that actually impact on ground decision making? And how does it impact your own work in terms of your view may be slightly different from the overall view of different people in your department? Does it actually translate to any difficulties in how the work is done day to day?
So that's what I'm trying to tell you. Basically, we are, as human beings, always going to have different opinions. And nobody 100% knows what exactly is happening. We are all learning, and we'll always continue to learn. And yes, there will be difference of opinion. There is difference of opinion in the government also, and it will be there with you people also, with everybody. You will feel that, no, this is how it is supposed to be done. This is what is best for me. You will have a difference of opinion about what career you are supposed to take. You will have a difference of opinion what dinner you are supposed to make. It is bound to happen with human beings. So I don't think it is something that we should be too much worried about. It is, I think, a sign of growth, that yeah, we are growing as a society and we are having a difference of opinion. But we have to understand that there is a greater threat outside. And that greater threat, no matter what our internal divisive things are, we still are sticking together and fighting it together. So I think it speaks very highly about us as a country. It speaks highly of us as Bangaloreans, that yes, we have sticked out to each other. Yes, we may not like it. That I said, I may not like whatever being told, but if it is for the general good, it is what it is.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Dr. Rohini. And one more thing is, this is something I would like to take your permission, if that is correct, is, yesterday, when we discussed, there was some content that you shared which could be useful for the public.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming that is not really confidential. And
No, no.
right, do you think, like, if you do a screen share on that, you and maybe Shraddha can, maybe, I think that clearly shows a lot of work that the police is doing, because while we are all sitting at home, we don't know what exactly you guys are doing, so we don't even know how the streets look like. And I think there's a drone shots also that you have got of empty Bangalore, etc. I think maybe I could run through, and is there anything you could probably like comment on that, and of what's happening? Does that make sense?
Sure. You want me to explain it? I can also
Yeah, I
explain it.
will share my screen. Okay, 1 second. And okay, so I think if you can see, I think this, I think, is like the food distribution, etc. Right? What you see right
Yes. This is our basic, like I told you for the initially also, we have become like a bridge between people who want to give help and people who want help. So there are a lot of people who are from the lower economic, socioeconomic strata, and there are a lot of people who have come forward of donating food for them. Some are donating rations, some are donating cooked food, and there are almost around 35,000 food packets that are going out every day. So yes, we have taken that also responsibility in a very big way, in which we are doing the basic way of distributing food to wherever we are finding it. The needy people are there.
Okay, and I think these are similar,
Yeah,
uh,
these are the similar things.
and I think these yellow
These are the
bags.
rations.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
the
These are
ration.
the ration distribution.
Okay, and yeah, the ration distribution. Yeah, I think a lot of laborers, right? I think construction areas, etc.
Yes. They are the main people who are actually being, they are of extremely limited economic support. And suddenly their work has stopped. And they are these people who are basically having a foot to mouth existence. They live on their daily wages, and that daily wages are suddenly gone. So this is the time where they are the most vulnerable. And because of the support of so many of our sponsors, we have been able to ensure that they are not that in that much of a distress.
Okay, nice. Then I think these are all food. I think this is, I don't know. Let's. I think this is like a social distancing thing, right? Yeah.
Yeah, this is the same thing. This is when our Honorable CP sir also visited one of the sites which had almost 600 people. These are all labor sites where we have been continuously visiting and continuously trying to have a dialogue, because, like I said, every one of us counts. They are not somebody who is foreign for us. We have to cater to their needs also.
Okay. Yeah. I think so. I think these are like announcements and which regularly
Yes.
is made, right?
Yes, this is basically so that there is no panic about whatever is happening. See, a limited information is always sometimes going to be leading to rumors, and rumors are also then there is this entire cycle of things where it goes wrong. So this is basically when it is we are trying to reach up to them, that we are there for them.
Okay. And this, I guess, is probably a drone shot, right?
Yeah, we have extremely what you call We are in debt to a lots of private entrepreneurs like you people who have come ahead with us, and they have been giving their drones for us. Their entire backup, every support has been provided to us, and now we have been using this technology, which is, I must say, actually a game changer. You need not be present at every nook and corner at every time. So during the peak of our lockdown, this was what that was required, and our drones was extremely helpful for us for implementing.
And you probably monitor if there is a crowd formation, etc. through this, right? And regularly.
It's actually the use of technology to its optimum. You know, you can, it's like force multiplier. My one constable can, with the help of drones, can keep an eye on 100 places.
Okay, nice. And, I think these are also drone shots.
Yeah, there are these people in drone shots.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we have really never seen Bangalore like this without people.
We hope so. You don't see it again also.
Yeah, it's really, really nice to see this very different thing. And, so, and I'm assuming WhatsApp is also very strong mode of communication, right? When in this.
Yes, we have been able to utilize WhatsApp, at least in my division, in a very, very big way. We have around 70 WhatsApp group in all police stations, and we have around 5,000, 6,000 people who are directly in touch with us, whether it is food distribution, whether it is volunteers, everybody is in touch with us during these things. And we are basically being trying to utilize public resources locally. For example, your parents will be at a location X and you will be stranded at a location Y. Then you will be worrying about your parents, how are they making food. So basically, through all these things, we are getting in touch with the local community and assisting even the elderlies in their basic demands of making food or basic medical support.
Okay. And I see that like there are parades as well. Police would do in some key locations.
Yeah, this is basically our domination on the roads. That, you know, we are constantly on the roads and trying to emphasize and telling everybody to stay inside. And we have got a very extremely positive response about this.
Okay, nice. Yeah, these are the parades and cool. Yeah. So I live like in an apartment complex, so I never get to see these.
I think we need to make sure that we visit your area also.
I think a lot of crowd like me, unfortunately, like the startup people, we stay in apartments. We are oblivious of what happens around us, and and we are probably more prone to fake news and all from everywhere.
No, I totally understand. I totally understand. So any news, my parents, they have been doctors and such a high ranking, and they sometimes also believe in whatever is comes to them on the news, and then I have to tell them, no, no, it is not true.
And
This is one of the biggest initiatives which we have been to do with help of startups like you. Basically, it is not nothing to be done by us. We only provided the base and the information. The entire mapping of my division was done, in which 2,000 grocery shops and vegetable shops were plotted. So if you go and click on this, on the it's an open source. It is available everywhere. So
okay,
you actually know where your nearest grocery is, because people are like used to going to metros or big Reliance stores, and they want to use their vehicle to go there. So this
okay,
entire focus was that no, 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 don't go anywhere. There is a shop just next to your house. Please go and visit that shop by walk. So this was the basic focus that was done, and it was extremely appreciated by people of South Bangalore.
okay. And so basically, this is available on the website of the police
It is
department.
100. It's an open source. It's available on the Google.
Okay, okay. And I think your team would have played a big role in getting this data up.
Yeah, it's a huge mammoth task of first plotting it, but like I said, it's with the help of people, support of you people, we are actually able to do, because we are not that tech savvy, but we have become tech savvy in this time.
Yeah, and I think I'm assuming, and you should correct me if I'm wrong, is I think Bangalore police is probably a lot more tech savvy than many others in the country, right? Would that be
True,
correct?
true.
And I think these are all the mappings. And, I guess this is creative from your team.
Yes, it is 100. Everything that you require. This was what we started was, keeping people engaged and not making them believe in the fake news. So we started this campaign of Lockdown Meets Art, in which, we have our social media profiles and we were promoting kids to, come up with some kind of a drawing and essay competition. And I must say, from 4 years to 10, 12 years, we have seen extremely beautiful projections and a lot of positivity, lots of connectivity and lots of positivity has been created because of it.
Okay, okay, that's nice. And so I think yeah, these are some videos, and yeah, I think this is the police commissioner, and
All of them have become quite a lot of active. Like we are going and even doing the thermal scanning of vendors. We have given vendors a mask. We have also trying to give them routes also, so that we are enforcing that you need not come to the shop for purchase of anything. That is the objective of this entire thing. Let everything come to you. Avoid coming out. See, like for example, this lady, we just think that we are immune to corona. We are not. We
okay,
need to
okay.
be very extremely careful. We need to wear a mask 24/7.
Yeah, I think this is quite proactive to go out and do these checks.
Yeah.
Yeah, even with the street vendor, that's really nice.
Street vendors are our backbone. There are so many in number, and they are the basic people provider of essential goods. But they are also very ignorant. This corona thing and this using of personal hygiene is something which has to be repeatedly told to them.
Okay.
Maintaining social distance and everything has to be repeatedly told to them. We have started having this contactless distribution of food, in which we try to, not ensure that there's no contact between anybody.
Okay, yeah, this is really nice. I think I saw that startups like Big Basket, Zomato, a lot of them are talking about this. I think about the contactless process. It's really
Yes.
good to know that Bangalore police is also doing this.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah, cool. And I think this is the end of the content. I'll stop sharing my screen. And I think, cool, if there is, I think Shraddha, anything, how would you like to take it? We'll,
The only thing I would like to take it and say is that I am an absolute fan of Dr. Rohini, and we are very, very proud. We are all in Bengaluru very proud of you. So proud. Keep smiling, keep taking care of us, and we will keep post lockdown also keep throwing rose petals at you. People like you make us feel so strong, make us feel so good. And Dr. Rohini, one message that I'm taking from you is two messages I'm taking from what all you said today is that have clarity, think beyond yourself. If you're thinking of larger good, of impact with clarity, then you will be able to have that purpose and that drive. We all can have the purpose and drive like you. And the second thing you said is that, there has to be an inherent goodness and humanity and human beingness that we have to see beyond the titles and the tags and the multiple designations that all of us talk about. Thank you. What an honor. And I'm genuinely very proud to be talking to you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
yeah,
Thank
thanks, thanks, Shraddha.
Thank you,
Really
Shesh.
wonderful session once again that you hosted. And
Thanks, Shesh, for the opportunity. Great conversation. Thank
yeah,
you. Thanks a
thank you
lot.
so much. And, Dr. Rohini, really wonderful to have you. And I think it's been a great pleasure. And I would definitely rate that. I think you are one of the probably top 10% of the cops whom startups would be comfortable to deal with. Are the
Of course, and she has a, let me just make a remark I can get away with. She has such a gentle and nice smile. As I said, all the cops are so khadus that you feel like, okay, she's not a cop actually. So, yeah, thank you. Thanks so much. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Okay,
Thank you, sir.
cool. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Please take care. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
And so I think we will